What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are live, and this is the Sports is My Love Language podcast. Welcome to our living room. Welcome to our barbershop, where we walk off the beaten path and we talk that ish about sports, man. We give it to you from any angle. You know, a lot of times corporate media, they're forced to bow down to these different sponsors, so they can't give you what's really on their mind, man. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. Some of it's based in facts, some of it's based in emotion, but you're going to hear it. And we hope that you join us and you give us, your side, your point of view. Come back and let us know what's going on. As usual, I'm here with my crew. I got my peoples in the house. I got my man PD Pablo, aka El Schefter. I got my man Javito, you know what I'm saying, in the house, and aka Colombiano, ready to go, ready to be locked and loaded. We're going to be talking NFL. We're going to be talking NBA. We're going to be talking even some UFC possibly at the end, to give you some predictions, talk about some fights. A lot going on in sports right now. As usual, we always start with the gift that keeps on giving, which is the NFL. And let's start. Let's start off hot, man. Let's start off Dallas Buccaneers. PD, what do you think, man? What was the thoughts on that one? What did you think compared to what you saw?
I know, obviously, like when I gave my prediction, I basically said fuck Dallas. We all know that was an emotional pick. I was a Giants fan talking about it, but I think realistically, we all knew that they had the capability to smoke Tampa, given how inconsistent Tampa has been this year in a lot of facets. Injury played a part of that for a lot of it, but also just their ability not to adapt or adjust their game. Play to the strings, but anything like that. So in a way, it doesn't surprise me that they beat Tampa and they beat them pretty well. Dak looked like the efficient player that he's always been, prior to, this little run of interceptions that he's been throwing. So it is what it is, and Dallas did what they were supposed to do, is not keep Tampa close. Because if you let them stay close, you're giving Brady a shot at the end. They're lucky that those 4 missed extra points by Marr, wasn't a factor, because it easily could have been in most games in the NFL if a kicker just has a bad day, mentally. The proverbial he got the yips, in that game.
Yo, what was that about? Holy shit.
It's just a bad day. He only had missed three extra points the whole year. So, a bad game. Bad day, bad. I mean, he ended up. Towards the end of the game, late in the game, he kicked one through, so maybe that helped. Mentally say, okay, fuck, so that probably helps. And like I said, he's been consistent all year. But I think most people felt that was going to be the case. That Dallas was going to win. I mean, I'm not surprised. I would have loved for them to lose, but it is what it is. I mean, I don't think whether it's Dallas or Tampa Bay, I don't think either one of them would beat San Francisco. So that's just kind of how I feel about it.
Avito, what were your thoughts on the Dallas Bucs game?
I mean, I picked Dallas to win, I think, but I just think it was easy to see who was more of the talented team on the field, and we saw that on Monday night. We didn't see Dak Prescott, throwing the interceptions that we saw for like the last 6 weeks or whatever the case may be. But again, I think it had a lot to do that this was the perfect storm for the Cowboys. They're not great against the run when they're on defense, but Tampa Bay is probably the worst running team in the league. So, all they had to do was pretty much pin their ears back and try to go after the quarterback. And we saw, the first half, Tampa Bay couldn't do anything. And you know what? Seems like, Dak Prescott has that little chemistry going with Dalton Schultz at this point, So, yeah, the Cowboys won, but again, I'm with Pablo. I will just keep on rooting against them, and I just don't see how they beat the 49ers. Although I will say they have the talent to, But I just think that defense well, it's not even Candlestick anymore. But I think the defense out there is just that good. Once they turn it on, and I think they know they got to turn it on from minute one. I think it's going to be a hard challenge for the Cowboys. And I know Shanahan's going to have a couple of plays up his sleeve to go against that defense for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think they take advantage of the aggressiveness. Okay, so Bucks Dallas. I had picked the Bucks. I believe I picked the Bucks. No, I'm gonna pick Dallas. No, I'm gonna pick Dallas. I think I picked Dallas. I picked Dallas because I remember I went against the Giant fans. I picked Dallas. And here's the thing. I think to me, the storyline had very little to do with Dallas and had more to do with how an organization can fall apart so quickly. It was Byron Leftwich went from being one of the golden boys, you know what I mean, offensive coordinator with, he chimes in with Brady and they talk and the chemistry last year to this year. Brady talks to the offense by himself. This guy has nothing to do with it. He's disconnected and it's off.
Yeah, they didn't make adjustments. I mean, I heard a stat today that they were last in the league in play action, right? But Brady, when they do run play action, when they a little bit of few times they would run play action, Brady had the highest QBR in the league.
Look at that, and it's surprising because their run game was so bad that it would work so well. But that's the other thing. Their running game fell off the map.
Mm-hmm.
Last year they had two, I believe it was two running backs, Jones, right, and
Jones and Lenny, playoff Lenny.
Yeah. What happened to Fournette? I think at the core of it is their offensive line. Their offensive line is what really, when they lost their center.
They lost two guys to injury, and then one.
Once that went, I think it really exposed Tom Brady's one glaring weakness. You get him off his spot, and again, when I say weakness, I say it with tongue in cheek because, I guarantee you 99.9% of the quarterbacks in the NFL would like to have his type of weakness.
Yeah.
But if there's a weakness that he has in his game, it's if you get him off his spot. And when you don't have a solid offensive lineman, he's going to have to move. And when he gets moving, that's when he throws the interceptions, gets sacked, the offense sputters. So I think at the core of it was the injuries on the offensive line that really screwed them in the end. But holy shit, man. I know the Rams fell apart the next year. But this team too, man, just watching it systematically from the coach, Todd Bowles should never coach again. He
shouldn't be a head coach. He's a really
Right, exactly. Yes. He should stick to DC, right? Because he has no clue as far as getting everybody together.
And the thing on Leftwich too is like you will see Evans run the same routes, the same two routes, go route, and then Godwin in the middle, right?
Right.
Like that's all you saw. No change, no adjustment, no, let's change things up a little bit. No, they just run the same thing over and over again. So they became predictable. And when you do that against a really good team, they're just gonna expose. They're gonna expose you.
Yeah. So I say all that to say this. I see Bucks Dallas. I liked. I saw a team in Dallas that did what they were supposed to do.
Yep.
I didn't see anything special.
No.
I saw them do what they were supposed to do: run the ball, get the ball to your playmakers. Dak, don't turn the ball over.
Michael Parsons wreck shit.
Yeah, our defense do what it has to do. You win the game, right? So that's what I saw. Now, here's the deal. Was it, and when I have to put percentages on it, was it the Bucks really falling apart or Dallas looking great? I'm gonna go 49% Dallas, 51% Bucks looking like shit.
It wasn't for me. For me, it's neither one of those. It's neither Dallas looking great or Bucks falling apart. It's Dallas is much more talented, and the Bucks are not as talented, and that's what won out. That's why you didn't have to be special. So your Dallas didn't have to be like. I mean, they did change up the way they play defense. They had Micah playing the Mike position a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if I had to put a,
but it wasn't like anything like they rewrote their playbook.
I don't see this Dallas team. That Dallas team. Do I see the team that has potential? The potential in the Dallas team going into San Fran and whipping ass and doing what they got to do. if they reach their potential, anything is possible. But that Dallas team that I saw play the Buccaneers, nah, that's an average. That's a good to average to good team. All right, so just to let you guys know,
It's
we
the
got
worst team. I'm going to say with, and I think I said this on the last show. Tampa Bay is the worst playoff team going into the playoffs. That's what I saw.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, I that's a good.
Tell me another team that was bad that was going into the playoffs. I mean,
No, because
they were
the
the
other
only team
games,
under they were the only team under 500.
yeah,
Vikings.
Oh yeah. True.
The Vikings were overrated, but I
Overrated.
still,
Yeah. You're right.
I still think the Vikings are better than Tampa Bay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Are they though? Are they?
So we got okay. So we got just to let everybody know,
13 and
we got
4
my
and
man
8 and 9.
Jay Waltner on. We got my man Jay Waltner on. He's one of my boys. He's big into the cap space. He'll tell you all about contracts that NFL players have. But he's also a huge Cowboy fan. So we're talking Bucks Cowboys. What
No one's perfect.
Did you see anything that jumped off the page for you as far as a Cowboy fan? Or what would you put it as? Give your assessment on the game. What do you think, Cowboys Bucks?
Oh, it was a whoop ass. I mean, there really isn't much to say. I mean, well, the one thing I would say is they better not be starting slow like they usually do against San Francisco, because they could be down 13, 17, nothing real quick. So they better pick that up real fast as far as scoring points on the first drive and everything like that. That's always been a problem for the Cowboys. So, but I mean, there's really not much you can pull from that. Basically, everything was working in the playbook. I mean, Kellen Moore was on fire that night. Dak was just dropping dimes left and right. Dropping
dimes.
No pun intended. But yeah, I mean, it was just a clinic, like a legit clinic. I mean, like you guys were saying, Tampa Bay wasn't that good of a team. I mean, someone had to win the NFC South, and it just happened to be them. So yeah, that's pretty much my assessment on it. I mean, it was just a whoop ass just from beginning to end, pretty well, except for the first 2 drives. But after Dak got settled in and everything like that, and then I mean, on the defensive side, gosh, I can't remember the kid's name, but there was a cornerback, a rookie that played for Muka Mahoma. Dang, I can't remember his name. But he never played in the regular season before, and he just stepped right in, 6'4" slot corner. What you know about that?
Yeah, they brought him in from the inside to put him out, and then they played safeties the rest of the way,
right,
against them, and that was the change that they did on the defensive side. And then having Micah Parsons play the Mike position a lot, and then just make that line nervous because is he coming? Is he not coming? Is he coming? Is he not coming? And
you got a little game plan for him now.
Yeah,
number 11 is the Mike.
Yeah, they went there with their better athletes and their talent, regardless of what position they were in the secondary, and because Tampa was predictable. Evans runs a go route, and Godwin plays in the middle. That's it.
Yeah, it's very predictable.
I think it was more of a necessity than anything because I mean I don't know if they wanted to roll out there with no Sean Wright and Boss Man Fat. They were getting toasted. So at that point, it was more of a. I mean, they even signed Xavier Rhodes. They brought him up from the practice squad the same week.
Yeah.
So it was more of a necessity thing than anything. I don't know. There's a guy on the radio show down here, Bobby Bell, who tried to say they tried hiding that guy. I don't think so. I just think they had to play him. They had no other option. So then they put him in. He balled out.
Yeah. So let's talk about probably the game of the weekend. I think, which was, and I'm sure Javi's gonna love this. Jaguars and Chargers. Yeah, let's talk about Javi's boy Herbert, and I say that in quotes. It's not his boy.
Yo, for real.
I mean, what did we think? What did we think in the first half, and then how it ended?
Can I just say this? You have 5 turnovers and you can't win that game and you can't put 50. This is where I will always say I'm getting sick and tired of hearing about how great Herbert is. Should have put 50 on that. Should have put 50 on the board easily then. All right. But when they had to actually do their own drives, they couldn't score. They scored, I think, 1 drive over 50 yards. And I think that was in the second quarter. But other than that, all the points pretty much came off of turnovers. 5 turnovers. I don't know, man. I just keep on saying, if that would have been Lamar Jackson, they would have destroyed him. But since it's Justin Herbert, I didn't really hear too much about it. But I'm saying, damn, 27. What was the score? 27-0? Was it? What was the score?
It was 27-0.5. Right?
No, they scored a touchdown before.
Yeah, it was 27. It was 27-7, right?
Yeah.
But it was 27-0 prior to that 7. So they were up 27 points and they lost. And they only scored 3 points in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So, Matt Ryan.
Is that more on the offense and more on the defense? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's both.
30
because those touchdowns, a couple of those touchdowns that Jacksonville scored were big bombs. They're just like huge plays. Like why?
Yeah, think about what Javi said. What Javi said was these are points off of turnovers on a short field, right? And it's just so happened that when Jacksonville got the ball back in the second half, they were giving it up on a short field. They were not being able to sustain drives. They were getting off the field on third down. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that offense has a lot. In the first half, yeah, I'll give you that. The way it got out of hand was defensively. They gave up a lot.
They stopped running the ball.
Half?
They stopped running the ball. That was one thing they did wrong.
And they got, 6 touchdowns?
But again, this is where I say they put it in the hands of the great quarterback that they had more than they should, right? So that's why I'm just there like, stop. That's Matt Ryan territory. When you keep on throwing the ball when you shouldn't have it, like, because they're just not capable. I saw this in Oregon. That's why I always say, that's why I kept on pumping the brakes. I'm like, this guy did not do all of this greatness that people think that he's done at Oregon. I saw him. They gave him the ball. Hey, you need to make this one play, and he couldn't do it. And that's what I kept on seeing in the second half. He couldn't do it. And everybody, it's the play call. And I'm like, well, they gave it to a guy that you guys thought was great, and he showed he wasn't. Matt Ryan is happy, though. I'll keep on saying that.
That's interesting as hell.
Are we giving?
And let me go talk to let me talk about that. Without the defense, right, of the Chargers that gave him 5 turnovers, that game would have been a blowout by Jacksonville. It would have been like 35 to like 6-7. That's how.
But let's not dismiss what they looked like in the first half. Jacksonville looked like shit in the first half. Trevor Lawrence looked like shit in the first half. Period. Yeah, he looked like the stage was too much for him in the first half, and then all of a sudden he comes out. But that's the difference. I'll say this to the mountaintops. That's what separates these coaches in the NFL. Halftime adjustments, man. You go in there and you talk to your quarterback. You calm him down. You make a couple of small, like short throws to build his confidence back. That's what you saw. You saw them lean a little bit on the run game to kind of play action, get the momentum going, and then all of a sudden this guy just starts throwing dimes. Bang, 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 and surgically just tearing San Diego apart. Just tearing them apart.
He missed that field goal. Dicker, the kicker, missed that. If he made that field goal late, and then 6 minutes and 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, game over.
And also passing up on the field goal.
And passing up on a field goal. Those are 6 points right there that the game would have
That's all it takes. That's all it would have taken.
Well, look, the missed field goal I understand, but remember, it's not like they didn't get the ball at the end and just keep on wasting time to kick the game-winning field goal. So we wouldn't have known if those 6 points would have mattered, because maybe they needed to go for the touchdown. We still wouldn't have known if they would have got the touchdown.
Yeah,
so,
there's a lot of what ifs.
It was like 3 left on like the 30. There's no way they would have scored a touchdown.
Yeah. And to Javi's point, they were at one point in the red zone and they threw it 3 times, didn't get it. But when they ran it, Eckler got in twice. Right? Why did you go away from that?
I mean, the last drive that Justin Herbert had was 3 straight passes, right? He got sacked on first down. Yep. And then the next 2 passes just couldn't get the first down after that. So, like, again, you gave it in the hands of this guy that you thought that was the great quarterback that that everybody keeps on saying.
I'll give you a curveball right here.
Go ahead.
You think if Mike Williams is in the game, they win?
Yes.
Yeah. Why not? You know what I'm saying? That's where
that right there is. That's the reason why, like, the OC getting fired, I was like, that's a stretch. That's a fucking stretch. You're firing the OC.
But again,
when the person that's making the shitty calls, obviously I understand why they didn't fire the coach, why they didn't fire Staley. Consistency. They're trying to keep him Herbert under the same.
A lot of the players
know,
vouched for him at the end of all that too. So
yeah, but come
But
on,
again,
bro.
do you really need what Mike Williams when you have 5 turnovers at this point? That's
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying.
it's hard to overcome. It's impossible.
And that's what I'm saying. It's fine. It's not like Jacksonville ever got the ball on a turnover. Like the Chargers
but what
got-
it does
Let me ask
no,
something real quick. You keep pointing out how they got the turnovers and how they did nothing, but they capitalized on those turnovers, right? To put up 27 points.
correct.
I mean,
But a short field. It's a short field. It does matter.
No, it does matter.
So
Jay,
it does matter.
They weren't
because
sustaining drives.
Second half.
But
They
this
weren't
is what I'm
sustaining
trying to say
drives.
about Justin Herbert. If he's so great, he should have put 50 on the board. He couldn't do anything without the turnovers, basically.
So the defense has nothing to do with this. The fact they
Yes, it does have something
in
to
the
do with
first half.
it. It has something to do with it. But
I would
again,
put that on
with-
Staley more because Staley's a defensive guy.
I would say 5 turnovers. You should have won that game by freaking 20 points.
Yeah,
the defense could stop a nosebleed.
Or Justin Herbert could actually score more in the second half since he's so great.
Come on, man.
Right?
There's 3 phases.
Oh, listen. Here's the deal. Here's the flaw. Well, AK, I'm gonna let you in because we just talked about Cowboys Bucks, right? So I don't know what your thoughts are on that. You could give us a little bit of that. And we're talking, the big game Chargers, Jaguars. Let's start. Let's go rewind a little bit. AK, give me your thoughts on Bucks Cowboys. What did you see? What did you like? Did you see a team that's living up to its potential? What are your thoughts on that?
Man, I ain't talking about no Cowboys. Let's talk about those Eagles.
They last week,
Oh man, let's go. Let's
Listen,
go.
they didn't play last week. Nobody even cared about them last week.
I think Tampa Bay stunk this year, basically, and I think Brady. What they were exactly who they were during the year. Generally, they couldn't beat any good teams. They couldn't put points on the board, and they played a team that's decent. So I'm not surprised at all. Obviously, didn't pick them to lose by that much because nobody has faith in the Cowboys in the playoffs. But I certainly wasn't surprised that they played terribly. As far as going to the Chargers and Jacksonville, what a hell of a football game. That's my takeaway, right? Like you don't see those type of games often. And I feel like I've seen 2 of them with the Colts in the regular season. And obviously this much more amplified in the postseason. I've always tended to favor Javi's opinion on this particular subject with Herbert. Certainly, like you got to score more than 3 points in the last 30, 35 minutes of a football game to win a playoff game, no matter what the score is usually. So I think there's a lot of blame to go around, but if you're that good of a quarterback, you don't lose that game. You certainly don't lose that game. So he may end up being that good of a quarterback, but he isn't yet.
He could learn from this. Obviously.
100%. And props to Dougie P, man. Dougie P, bro. He won the Super Bowl, and now that's a hell of a coach on the other side, a hell of a quarterback, too, on the other side, who had a really good second half and just a young, hungry team. All that being said, I expect them to lose to Kansas City by 2 touchdowns.
All right, so let's
You ain't wrong there.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're absolutely wrong. But like I said, it was his first playoff game. We'll see what happens going forward if he gets in there again. Let's go to the other close game that apparently nobody thought was going to be a close game, and it was, which is the Bills and the Dolphins. So, are we going to continue seeing this Josh Allen? I need to score 20 points in every throw, Josh Allen, or because they were only in that game because of his turnovers. Speaking of the turnovers, right? Dolphins are in that game only because of those turnovers.
Yes.
If you can't run the ball, it turns out like that.
He shit the bed. But I shouldn't have jumped the gun. I jumped the gun because of the Dolphins offense. I was like, there's no way they're gonna be able to score with them. You know what I mean? I couldn't account for the fact that the Bills were gonna look so bad on offense. You know what I mean? And the thing is this, during the year, the Dolphins defense looked good against the Bills offense. They matched up well. The secondary matched up well. They handled Josh Allen pretty well. The problem was you just thought, okay, let's say that happens. You're gonna assume the Bills are gonna score a couple of touchdowns. Let's say they keep it to 21. I didn't see how the Dolphins were gonna score 21 points. And they take it out of their ass on defense. Balling on defense. I was like, holy shit. You know what I'm saying? The way they played inspired football. I was like, this is, man, listen. They had Tua. If they had Tua
and they're getting those turnovers, Buffalo loses that game.
You said Buffalo loses that game, right? Yeah, I think Buffalo loses that game
with those
yeah.
turnovers. You know,
Holy shit!
I mean,
dude.
yeah, that defense came to play, except for apparently Xavier Howard because he was getting torched by Stephon Diggs that whole fucking game. So
yeah,
Diggs went off on him,
Dolphins had a case of the dropsies.
and that too. That too.
they weren't doing that quarterback. They weren't doing that quarterback any
No
service.
justice. No
But
justice.
he was fucking garbage.
He was
That guy
horrible,
was
too,
hot.
at the same time, too.
It would surprise the hell out of me if he's in the league next year.
No, he's a third
If he's
string.
not
He's a rookie.
XFL.
What do you want from a third string rookie?
That's what I'm saying. He's a third
So what do you want from
Sorry,
him?
I want him
bro.
to win like Brock
No.
Purdy.
Look
Brock
at
I
Purdy.
want him to win like Brock Purdy, baby.
Here
Yes,
comes Mike
you
saying,
want
Listen,
that.
let me explain something to you.
Third string
Let me explain
rookies
something to you.
are
Let me explain
Brock
something to you.
Purdy now. I mean,
Let me explain something to you.
he's just mad because he's
There's a guy like no. There's a guy that looks like him. There's a guy that looks like him, right?
Looks like who?
There's a guy that looks like Zach Wilson, right?
What?
Let me tell you something. Mike
What are
White
you talking about?
is not as heralded, is not as whatever.
It's about his
He
team.
goes into the game, and you're like, oh, I okay, you know what? This guy
We're
has
talking
some
about the
strength.
playoffs, man.
We're talking about
Nah,
Why are we talking
nah,
about
nah.
freaking Zach Wilson right now, man? Is there like a
You're
milk
obsessed with that
tournament
guy,
right
man.
now or something?
Nathaniel Hackett? What? Nathaniel Hackett?
A third string quarterback is about to
That's
go.
offseason. That's offseason talk.
There's things that you can see. There's things that you can see the eye test, and that guy did not pass the eye test.
A
that's
third
why he's
string
a third
quarterback
string
is about to go to the
quarterback.
NFC Championship game.
What are we talking about right
That's what a
now?
third string
I'm
quarterback's
kind of
gonna do.
lost right now. Oh, he's talking about third string
Miami, we're
quarterbacks?
talking Miami Bills. What'd you guys see? Go ahead.
I just
How we
saw.
go? Go ahead.
I just saw a Dolphin team that was inspired. It wasn't really their offense. Obviously, they had a special teams touchdown there as well. Like all three phases just kind of was obviously their defense and their special teams was pretty much what kept them in the game. If Skylar Thompson just was, I would say Brock Purdy. If he was Brock Purdy, they probably would have won that game. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about third string quarterbacks, Mr. Relevant.
Brock Purdy on the Dolphins, and he ain't doing nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about that because I have the same.
I do,
feeling.
and I'm gonna say, I don't know, because why wouldn't he with a Tyreek Hill and a Jalen Waddle?
Right.
There's weapons there as well. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
gonna
I just
lie.
think
No.
Skylar Thompson's
Okay,
just
so-
that much worse.
No, I think it's what is it? Brian Schottenheimer, the coach
No,
of
Mike
49ers?
Shanahan. Mike Shanahan.
Mike, the coach. My bad.
This guy-
My bad.
The coach of
Where was
who?
I? My bad.
That guy
The
said
coach,
Schottenheimer, bro.
the coach of the 49ers.
Kyle Shanahan.
Coach of the 49ers.
Whatever. Mike, Kyle, they're all the same, right?
Yeah, right. I was saying-
Yeah, they're football geniuses. That's what they are.
The coach of the 49ers puts Brock Purdy in position to win.
Mhm.
And with the running game, there really is not much to do. And the running game is such a threat that you could literally put any quarterback in that system.
That's
And-
ridiculous.
And it's proven. You can
That's
put
ridiculous.
any quarterback in.
Any quarterback can keep you in games, can keep you in the season. Any quarterback isn't in like top 2 or 3 in QBR for the last 7-8 games. Hasn't lost a start. That's different. Like you
And
can't.
it's
You
not
gotta
like-
give the guy. I'm not saying we know he's going to be even a Pro Bowler, but he's obviously decent.
He did it with
You know
Jimmy.
what I mean, I saw him miss throws. I saw him miss in the first quarter. I saw him miss receivers and throws, but he's obviously decent. Like he's got
That's
some
what I'm saying.
weapons there, and if he was
All
in
you need
Miami,
is a decent quarterback.
they'd be pretty decent.
I don't know about that.
So you're trying to say
You got Waddle and you
you're
got
trying to say
Tyreek Hill.
Skylar
No,
Thompson
it don't
is
matter
the
what
same
you
as
got on the
Brock
outside
Purdy?
if you ain't got no line. That's like a Lambo with no engine.
Miami can run the ball as well. They're not horrible there.
I just
And
look
they
at it
got a
like
tight
this.
end who could catch too. I mean, I'm saying like maybe you say if you put him in Houston, he won't. Okay, most quarterbacks won't. I guess what I'm saying is he's not Skylar Thompson, bro. Like he's
I say you put Skylar Thompson.
He's a good NFL quarterback. He's got
I
better
say you put
stats there
Skylar Thompson
than
on the
Lance and
49ers, and he probably looks good.
Maybe we'll see.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right,
Yeah,
last game before we move on to this weekend. Giants, Minnesota. Is it what we all expected? I mean, it's kind of what I
Yo,
expected.
Minnesota's who I thought they were, bro.
Yeah,
I
well,
said
it's
it.
time.
I called it. One and done, baby.
I was on another radio show, and I was talking about how this is the perfect storm of styles make fights. You have a finesse team in Minnesota against a fucking rough and rugged tumble team like the Giants.
With a team that has nothing to lose.
Oh
With a
yeah,
team
when did the
that-
Giants become so tough?
No, their style of play. Their style of play.
When we put our third stringers,
They have no choice.
and it took you all 4 quarters to beat our third stringers. That's when.
Wait,
with the division on the line.
With the
this-
division
in the
out.
first round-
With
in the
your-
first
with
season.
with
segment of the
Jalen Hurts
show-
at quarterback, baby.
is this segment of the show 2007, 2011, or 2023? I'm trying to figure this out.
Dude, I mean, look,
I'm just hoping it
you
kind
can't
of
hate on
ends
Daniel
the
Jones
same.
right now. You can't.
Say again?
You can't hate on Daniel Jones
man.
right now.
Yeah, you
I'm
can't.
not gonna
No,
say he's like
look,
awesome.
look.
You can't hate on him.
I'll be the first one to say, bro, I was hating him. You know, first game of the season when he threw that interception, I was like, there he goes again. You know what I'm saying? I'm just there like, can somebody teach this guy not to be an idiot? You know? And all of a sudden, I just don't know what the hell happened after that. He turned the switch.
Brian Dable.
No,
I remember when he got at him on the sidelines, and it seemed like that conversation just took off because after that, it was a totally different Daniel Jones. It's like, all right, I'll just throw it out of bounds if I need to. I'll take the sack if I need to.
Or he'll just run.
Yeah, or just run, you know? But the thing is that he would run the last few seasons and he would just get hurt. This year he did. It just felt like he protected himself a little bit more, and it just felt like he something clicked. And I don't know what it was, but I'm so happy as a Giant fan that it did, because I was like, damn, man, we got to stick it out with this freaking scrub. And he proved, you know, finally he
Yeah, I mean, this. You guys know, I'm on the record. You know, at the beginning of this first half of the year, I was like, I'm about next season with all the money coming off the cap and you know, a culture change. That's all I wanted this year. A culture change, just, you know, whether they win games or not. But after some point, even I had to say, all right, you know what? Let's just focus on this season, because here they are. You know, me expecting them to struggle
again. Playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was like, you know, like beginning of the season, like you said, I'm looking for a culture change. Like I'm looking for, you know, 6 wins, top 7, maybe. Bro, we're in the playoffs. So I'm just there, like, and that's what I'm saying. I want them to.
I wanted just 1 or 2 wins so we can get the high draft pick for a That's when I came into it. You know.
And don't worry, Pablo. In about 2 days, you can start worrying about who you're going to pick up in the and I'll tell you what happened.
Look at typical Philly sports fan. They suffer in all their sports for a long time, get a little success, and they're ready to blow their load right away.
Listen.
Go.
Another thing I'll say is Daniel Jones had 5 interceptions this year, bro. I've seen this happen in rushing. This is a Tiki Barber, where you fumble every other play and then you all of a sudden don't fumble it again anymore. So he's legit pulling a pass, and it's fantastic. Good for Daniel Jones. You got to make him run. You got to make him uncomfortable. Get him off his spot. We had 70 sacks, most in the league. I think that's what this game is going to be decided. Certainly.
Yeah.
Well, I like to see them. I like to see. I'm gonna look. So let's just jump to it. Mm-hmm. Eagles, Giants coming up, right? I'm excited to see a fully loaded Giants defensive line, healthy, up against Jalen Hurts. That's gonna be a really nice matchup.
That's not
I think it's gonna be a matchup nightmare. A healthy Eagles defense against Daniel Jones. That's what I think is going to be a matchup.
The matchup is against our offensive line, because we're the best offensive line in football, and then that'll determine where it's good to.
And I think the key for the Giants, you know, if they're going to win this game, going up against that offensive line, is that defense has to just blitz. You don't set back and just let Hurts make decisions, because if not, they're going to RPO the shit out of him. If they just sit back playing zone and all that kind of shit, they just got to come after him.
That's rigged, though.
Well, is Hurts okay? How about that?
He's been a full go. He's been a full go in practice since like
that's since he's an OG,
right? AK since Tuesday.
Yeah, he's a full go, and the quarterback he's playing against. The quarterback he's playing against gets tackled by himself at the 10-yard line when he's on a wide open, kind of run to the end zone. We're not doing that.
You have, and you're right, Javi. That's Wink style, right? He brings it all anyway. But on that side of the ball, that's the only way they have a chance. Because if not, like I said, if they just sit back there, they're gonna get RPO to death. On that side, and on the offensive side, it's got to start with Saquon for me, and it's got to be efficiency for Daniel Jones. You know, the good thing is that, like, you know, if you're the Eagles defense, you're like, oh, well, what receiver do we cover? Like, well, they all suck, right? And on paper, they're all nobodies. No, like somebody's got to step up. So we got to see. We got to see what happens on that side.
How good is Adoree Jackson?
How about
Adoree Jackson's very good.
Good Lord, came out of nowhere. Well, actually, here's what I was saying. My dad was asking me about him, and I was.
He was a Buffalo guy. He was a Buffalo guy.
Thing, Buffalo has such a deep wide receiver chart that their 4th, 5th guy could be someone else's 3rd.
Yeah, Davis is a pretty damn good receiver.
You got Davis, Diggs
in the playoffs. He's a good player.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, he was like 4th, 5th in the depth chart.
He got cut in November, late November.
Yeah.
And that's when the Giants picked him up. It wasn't like he was there all year either. But he just built this rapport with Daniel Jones right away.
This
And
is this is what the Giants can do. The Giants, because this is the biggest problem that if the Eagles struggle. The Eagles play a bend, don't break defense. So even though we have the best pass rush in the league, for some dumbass reason, all of our cornerbacks are always 10 yards off of the receivers. The Giants aren't looking to go vertical. Everything they want is in the first 10 yards.
Right, to the front,
So
right.
so in that way, they could certainly move the ball on us.
They'll take it
Certainly
in
move the
those
ball.
kind of moderate pieces and
But
run
yeah.
it with Saquon. You know?
Yeah.
All right. I think is the matchup of the weekend overall, Bills and Bengals. They both have their flaws right now. We talked about Josh Allen kind of being a little bit reckless. And Cincinnati's offensive line is hurting. If those 3 of those 5 don't play.
That's
where do we think that goes?
I don't know why. I feel like I trust Joe Burrow more than I trust Josh Allen.
Ooh.
I don't know why.
Valid
I
point.
just feel like I do right at this point. Again, I know it's going into Buffalo. I know he might be 3 linemen down, but again, he went to the Super Bowl with probably one of the worst lines last year. So I'm just kind of gonna go lean on that and just be like, I trust Joe Burrow just a little bit more than Josh Allen.
And they're coming in with a chip on their shoulder.
I
They
think
felt like they got done dirty.
both teams should have chips on their shoulders.
I feel like they got done dirty. They feel like they got done dirty.
From-
The whole coin flip shit. That shit's not sitting well with them. And the Buffalo team is the team that caused that. Not to say that they're holding.
Yeah, but they're not affected by
against
that. They're not affected by that now.
I think psychologically they are. I think it was proven the other day when they scored the touchdown and they faked the coin flip, and my man went over and acted like he kicked the coin. You saw that on the touchdown.
Well, yeah, because if Baltimore
that means it
freaking
pisses them off,
you know.
yo. That means it pissed them off. It irritated the way the league handled them. I think they. Now I agree with Javi. I am 100% a Burrow fan. I'm a huge Burrow fan. That's my guy, bro. Like when you talk about these young Herbert, always give me Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow's game.
You guys know the Giants blitz more than anyone? I'm sorry to go back on that. But
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
That's Wink. That's what I'm saying. That it's going to be constant. That's who he is. Even what surprised me most about against the Vikings is that at the end he decided not to blitz, and that's when we just basically went. You said, "All right, send our 4, defensive linemen and play man," and that's basically what we did to win the game because Kirk Cousins decided to throw a 3-yard pass. I don't know.
So, just so you guys know, I'm just looking here. The Bills and the Bengals, top 5 in scoring defense.
Yeah. No. I'm telling you, I'm going Bengals. I'm going Bengals to beat the Bills. I know it's all written into
What's the count?
You said what?
What's the count you're gonna have? Bengals by how much?
We'll get into that towards the end.
Okay.
But I just think that the Bengals have their number, man. The numbers they match up nicely against the Bills, and I think that is Eli Apple healthy? Do you know? Anybody know?
He sucks.
He does, but
He's not on the field at all.
he does, but he's an important part of their team.
Shout out to Eli Apple, who went to my high school.
That makes sense. Well, there you go. There you go.
Now we understand
Now
it
we
all.
understand.
Why he's so bad.
Shout out to Eli Apple, who went to the Rutgers University. My other alma mater.
Fuckers,
So he's used to getting burned. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, I don't think he's a game changer in the NFL, though. Well, maybe he is a game changer sometimes, not the exact.
Yeah, but the opposite way.
He changes the game for the other team. I'll tell you that much.
So what do you guys thought?
I take Josh Allen. And I think that, like, when Alvy asked that question, I was like, you know what? It's the exact same question of who's better, Bills or Bengals. Like, it's whoever you think is better out of the quarterbacks, that's the better team. That's how close they are.
That's true.
So I think
the running game is going to be.
That's the other part I'm about to say. The Bengals have a running game, right?
They do have a running game. Certainly they have
2 good running backs.
But let's see what they do with 3 linemen down.
It's quick throws. It's what Burrow's been doing all year. He's got to throw the ball quick. That's what he's been doing. It's easy to do when you have 2 number 1 receivers and a solid wide receiver too.
Yeah, he has to chase after completions to his receivers.
But it's not so hard. It's
that
not.
wasn't your
it's not
best
as
one,
easy. It's not
love
as
it.
easy.
My
It's not as
favorite.
easy when you have one of the worst lines either. So it's it's a give and a take with that. Yes, he has great receivers, but just imagine if their offensive line was intact. Then are we really thinking that the Bills are going to beat them? And we're still thinking it's this close. So just imagine if right now we're saying the Bengals offensive line is fully healthy. That's when I say, no, for sure, I think the Bengals are going to win. But since they're not fully healthy, then I feel like it's a little closer game. And then, you said, but I still think Joe Burrow, when it comes to it, is the better quarterback.
Yeah. All right. The other game is, which I think is going to not be close. Kansas City, Jacksonville. Anybody think a little differently?
I do.
Yeah, at least AC.
I'm not counting out that Jacksonville team, man. Now with Peterson as the coach, and now with Trevor Lawrence at that quarterback, man.
What Trevor Lawrence might have just did is just build so much confidence right now that what happened after that win could propel them going right into Kansas City and not giving two shits anymore, right?
Yeah,
and just saying the hell with it.
It's a factor for sure. Because, I mean, they blew them out in the first game when they played each other this year.
And how long ago was that?
I forgot what week that was. But you're right.
That was early on.
It's a different Jags team. It's a different Jags team at this point.
Andy Reid is like 1,001 when he has a bye week. From Philadelphia to Kansas City. I don't think he's the best game manager. I think he burns timeouts too quickly, and I think he gets away from the run too much if there's critiques.
Yeah.
But one thing he doesn't do is lose after a bye week.
It's true.
Nobody's saying he's going to lose. I'm just saying that the game.
Yeah, we just trying to say that
I think it's going to be a lot tighter than.
I'm telling you right now, if they go with 5 turnovers in the first half, they're going to get demolished.
Oh yeah.
Way to go out on a limb there.
I know. I'm just saying.
You're saying that Patrick Mahomes can score.
But the point is they come out.
Bob's coming in with the hot take.
If they come out bad like that, if they just come out, inefficient.
Yeah, they come out
the
flat.
beginning.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
He's good. I can guarantee you one thing: the Chiefs are going to come out sharp. Now, whether they sustain that'll be an issue. We'll see, but they're going to come out sharp, man. He's always prepared that way. Like his first 10 or 15 scripted plays are always legit. Best coach I've ever seen at it.
All right.
I think 2 touchdowns is a lot. I think it's a closer game than people give it credit for. I'm going to go. We're going to throw a score out there. I think Kansas City by a touchdown. It's the playoffs, man. This is a different beast. And I've seen Kansas City struggle against the run.
I think it's
you know what I mean?
Digits,
so
man.
we'll see.
I say 31-17 Chiefs.
That sounds
31-17 Chiefs.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's not really a
Wouldn't
blowout,
surprise
but
me,
it's a good beating.
You never know. They could always
victory.
score another late touchdown. Like it may be within single digits, but I agree that the Chiefs are going to kind of have control going into the fourth quarter, sir.
All right, so now let's get to. I know we talked about it a little bit when we were recapping the Dallas game.
49ers Cowboys.
Yeah, where do we see this going?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I'm still nervous about it. I mean, it's gonna be a tough one, man. I mean,
yeah, it is gonna be a tough one, bro. Like that, I'm still thinking. I'm thinking as just a football fan, right? And I think Shanahan's the better coach, obviously.
Right, I agree with that.
But at the same time, Dallas has talent, right? So it's not like we're just saying that Dallas sucks because they don't. They have talent. I just think it comes down to coaching. I'm gonna lean on Shanahan, and I know Quinn is your defensive coordinator, but right now I just feel like Shanahan has answers at this point, and I think that's all it is, really. I don't. If we're looking at the squads, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much even as far as talent wise, except because even on the defense, I think the Cowboys could stop the 49ers.
We at least get the break on the quarterback spot, right?
Yeah, I think Dak is the better, but at the same time, I don't think Brock Purdy is a step down from Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's a step up, and that's where I'm there thinking I'm going to lean 49ers just for the fact that I see Shanahan do it with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he has a better quarterback than Brock Purdy because when we saw the adjustments, they destroyed Seattle in the second half. And I know Akil was feeling pretty good in that first half with his prediction, but that prediction came way off in the second half.
You got old quick.
I thought Cincinnati would blow out that game too. Completely wrong. I had a rough weekend, guy.
Did the Wallet have a rough weekend?
Buffalo.
Jay, let me ask you, because you're the Cowboys fan. Because obviously, anyone that plays San Fran is just matching up with those skill position players, right? You can put the running back at the wide receiver. You put Debo behind the line, right? But I think my thing is who covers Kittle?
That's the other part, right?
We got Curse, Javon Curse. The guy.
So they're gonna go multi-safety.
You can't do it. You can't do that. You got to tilt Curse towards Ayuk and Samuels, or you're going to get killed. Your cornerbacks are your weak suit.
So who's Diggs going to cover then?
No, he should be covering Samuels, but you better get help over the top.
I don't even know if he's going to cover Samuel. I think he's going to cover more Ayuk.
I think Ayuk.
We'll see. I mean,
Ayuk.
Right,
because Debo plays everywhere. Debo's everywhere. If they put Debo in the back, what's Diggs going to do?
Yeah, I don't think
we have extremely athletic linebackers. Okay?
Yes.
Seattle does
Atlanta says Purdy over Prescott, hands down. Knock it off. Come on. It's too early for that.
Well, listen.
And
He's
their
a Cowboy
safeties
fan.
are not good.
That's a Cowboy
Their
fan, by the
safety-
way.
Their safeties are not good at all.
Who?
San Francisco.
No,
they're
it's
one
their
safety's
corners.
an All-Pro, and they have the second best safety in the league.
It's
He's
the corners
first team
that are weak.
All-Pro.
It's the corners where you can hit them on the outside.
No, it's the one. You got Lenore
first
on
team
one
All-Pro.
side. Yeah, for a tackler.
He's a first team All-Pro safety,
As
bro.
a tackler.
You don't make first team All-Pro if you can't cover also at that position,
Why not?
because you wouldn't be an All-Pro. You wouldn't be a complete safety.
You can't be one for being a tackler.
What?
Can't be one for being over 100.
You can't play
110.
D-back and make All-Pro if you can't cover people. That doesn't make any sense. That's like part of your job. That's the big part of your job.
No.
If all you are is
I think you make a Pro Bowl if you specialize.
not
Like
even. You
All-Pro
can't even. You have to be able to play
best
the
all around.
position.
The weakness in that secondary is Ward. That's the corner that you can expose.
He's better than the Cowboys' second corner by about a mile and a half.
The problem is I don't
We
think
have a
they're
second
gonna
corner right now. We're like on our 5th and 6th.
Exactly. You got hurt guys. That's my point. The guy who's playing
I
second
don't
corner.
think the Cowboys are going to have enough time to get the ball to their wide receivers.
They're not going to be able to
I
run the
think
ball.
Bosa's coming.
I don't think San Francisco is going to have a ton of time either. I think as much as I hate
And
the Cowboys, I think it's
right? Is that the other guy, Armstead or something like that?
Yeah.
Hempstead or something?
No, well, Armstead is a tackle.
The defense, and he's a load.
Arik Armstead. Yeah. Well,
Their linebackers are the loads. Greenlaw and Fred Warner are monsters. Yeah, they have Armstead and Bosa on the line. It's Ward is the weak link in that secondary. In that
Dallas has a better QB. San Fran has a better defense, but the kicker is
the kicker.
Exactly. The kicker is the kicker.
The kicker. The
Yeah,
kicker.
like that. It's a huge.
The key.
The kicker is the kicker. That's a great point.
Okay.
No, I mean I'll take San Francisco, but it's always hard to trust a rookie quarterback. It's always hard to trust a rookie quarterback too.
This real pressure.
We're gonna see if Brock Purdy's everything we say is this game, because Micah Parsons and the boys, they come with that heat and they know how to put that pressure. We're gonna find out a lot.
Jay, what do you think? You think Micah should?
But this is where the running game. This is where the running game gets involved.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't even talk
All
about
day,
that aspect
all
of San
day,
Fran.
yeah, all day.
Because they've got two, maybe 3 running backs they can use. 2 for sure. With McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell, and then they had Mason.
Elijah Mitchell.
But then we gotta include Debo in that.
And then Debo off the back, and then there's always
And
Kyle
Debo
Juszczyk
comes
who
into-
will catch you. He'll catch you 2 passes for 14 yards, and he always hits his catching prop. But sometimes that's for a touchdown out of nowhere when they're in the red zone.
And then you got Kittle. Too many weapons.
San Francisco went into Dallas. San Francisco went into Dallas last year in the playoffs and beat them. Tell me if you disagree with this. San Francisco has a better team this year. Dallas does not have as good a team this year. Dallas' team last year was
You're 1,000% wrong on that. We have a
Dallas team. Dak Prescott led the league in picks.
You lost. Hold on a second. Wait. Jay just said something. Wait.
Hold on.
Jay,
Let me
you
just say
think you have a better team?
Yes,
I'm going to explain. Let me say why. They had Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb this year. Teams that only have one wide receiver that can hurt you, all due respect to Gallup, don't tend to go that far in the playoffs. Dak led the league in picks this year, missing 5 games. He had a better year last year. No question about it. Micah Parsons is awesome this year. Well, he was awesome last year, too. You can certainly argue that Diggs was better last year.
Marcus Lawrence.
You can certainly argue. So Dallas was the division winner, had a much better year than they had this year, relatively speaking. San Francisco is better this year.
They had the same exact record. And our defense was better this year than it was last year. So look, man, our defensive interior is way better than it was last year.
What about the offense, though? Because the whole thing is the whole team. Is the whole team better than this year?
Our offense is still what? Top 5 in scoring? I mean, since Dak came back, they have been the #1 scoring offense in the NFL. since Dak comes back.
Your left tackle is going to be playing right tackle, and your backup is going to be playing left tackle.
Tyler Smith is playing left tackle.
Sorry, your left guard is going to be playing right tackle. The other Smith.
Said this. Where are you getting this?
Peters got hurt. Peters was starting last game.
Okay,
but Tyler Smith is going to take the spot.
Tyler and McGovern's going to come in and play Tyler Smith's position.
Oh, where are you getting this from?
No.
Yeah, no.
Tyron Smith is the right tackle, and then Tyler Smith is the other tackle.
Tyron is our right tackle, the dominating left tackle that's been stopping your Eagles for like 12 years. Yeah, he's our right tackle now.
And Tyler Smith is going to play for Peters.
Tyler Smith is going to play left.
What I'm saying is that you haven't had the same line you've had all year. I think there's a bunch of reasons why the Cowboys could struggle. Though again, I'm saying I think it's going to be a good game. But I just don't think the Cowboys are as good as they were last year, and San Fran's better.
But besides the fact that you're an Eagles fan, what makes you say that? Because you have right now, I've told you have said everything, and I've countered everything you said.
I watched the Cowboys play last year, and I thought they were legit scary. I watched them play this year, and sometimes, very rarely, they look good. I've seen probably 5 games, not 16 or 17, certainly. They do not look to me as good as last year, and a big reason is because they're one-dimensional as shit in their passing game. They don't have 2 stud receivers anymore. I think missing Cooper hurts them dramatically.
We have an awesome tight end.
Awesome? You don't have an awesome tight end.
He has like 10 touchdowns.
He's very good.
Your tight end is 10 to 15th best in the NFL. How's that awesome?
Yeah, 10 touchdowns isn't good though.
The tight end position in the NFL. I mean, you got one at the top,
I'm
and then
just
you got
saying,
maybe 2. That's the second one, and then
see how many touchdowns he has this year, and I'm guarantee it's damn near 10.
That's fine. Tunyon probably has 10 touchdowns too. I don't think
Is it really?
The tight end position is ass in the NFL.
CeeDee Lamb is a really good
You want
player.
to debate top 10 tight ends? Why? There's only 1, maybe 2 tight ends in the NFL.
Goddard is legit.
No, there's more than 5. I can name you 5 tight ends that are really good.
But Goddard
really good.
Here we go. That's
you're going to talk about
Goddard is leagues better than Schultz. They're not even in the same hemisphere.
He was hurt like 3/4 of the year.
So what? But the Raiders
I've never heard anyone tell me Schultz is as good as Goddard. I've never heard that.
You got Kelsey. You got Goddard. You got from Minnesota. He went over to Minnesota. What's his name?
Hawkinson.
Right. You have the tight end for the Bengals. Isn't the Bengals tight end really good?
That tight end for Pittsburgh. Tight end for Pittsburgh is good.
Friday is okay.
Kaseki from the Dolphins.
Shut up, bro.
Jets have good defense.
Tell me how many touchdowns those guys have. Tell me all the yards and touchdowns that those guys have.
I think Dawson Knox is better than him.
Yeah,
really.
He's better than Schultz too.
You guys are comparing different versions.
Ingram, your boy Ingram.
You guys are comparing different
year.
aspects of action.
This year.
Ingram this year.
Look at all their
Yeah, that makes you sick.
stats. Tell me which other stats outside of Kelsey jumps out the window to you guys. Out of all those
No.
guys.
Out of the tight ends?
Yeah.
There's
outside
none.
of Kelsey.
We're debating good. We didn't debate great. We didn't say great. We said good.
So when you say top 10 tight ends, okay, yeah, you have to rank them because of the stats they have. But are they
Right,
really
good.
He might be the GOAT at tight end, bro.
Yeah, he's different. He's a full receiver. But besides him, you do have the top tier of like Andrews, Kittle, Goddard. You certainly have a top tier besides Kelsey.
He had 7 receptions for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns in the playoff game.
That's great.
Schultz.
I can show you a one-off playoff game for 9.
Against the Bucks, right?
Yeah, okay. In the playoff game, that matters the most. I don't know. Who cares about that, though, right?
Yeah, but that's a different conversation. It's about now how they're doing now. But
he had the most receptions, catches, and touchdowns in a playoff game for a Cowboy in 90 years.
All right. So we've gone through the games.
All right, so let's do some. Let's close it out with some scores real quick, and then we'll just jump into a quick NBA blurb, man, before we shut it down. Because I definitely want to, give a couple people. I want to give my Knicks a shout out, bro. I'm just so happy that they're playing, that they're balling. My Knicks are balling, bro. But whatever.
They lost yesterday.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, I know, they're gonna lose every now and then. Okay, let's go. Okay, 49ers, Cowboys. Everybody go around. Give me a score.
34-31, San Francisco.
34-31. Javito.
I got it like 26-22. I'm going to go San Francisco.
Oh, tough scoring. Okay. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm going to say 31-28, boys.
Okay.
Okay. One field goal from our.
I'm gonna go 146-0 San Francisco.
Well, that 31 is really because he missed four four extra points, by the way.
That's fucking hilarious.
That's how the math works.
No, I'm gonna go high scoring game, 39-35, and I'm gonna say San Francisco
See,
pulls
man,
it
I'm
out.
just sorry. I'm just gonna say 146-0. You want us to take anything you said seriously on this call so far?
That's obviously
Come on,
satire.
man.
That's obviously satire. You missed
clearly
it.
you clearly haven't been watching.
Yeah, Joe,
You have not been
I don't
watching.
care if it's satire or not. You know what I'm saying?
The
Like,
last time they asked me a Cowboy score, I qualified and said, I can't be impartial, so I'm going to just say what I hope happens.
Sensitive Cowboys fan.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
shocked that
All right, let's go. Bengals Buffalo. Petey.
23-20.
wow, that's low.
Buffalo.
23-20 Buffalo. Okay, here we go. Javito.
I'm gonna go 26-22 Bengals, baby.
Look, what? 22 your new number now? You
No,
give it
Hey.
up 29?
26-22 is my score. Going on. That's it.
Jay, what you got?
I'm gonna say 38-34.
Shootout.
Bengals.
There you go.
He literally
Hey,
did. That was my score, so I have to change it now. I'll go
200-0.
I'll go 41. I think it's going to be high scoring, but I like 38-34. Actually, that was my score, so I'll just stick with it.
Wait, who? Bengals or Bills?
Sorry, Bills.
Oh, the
Bills.
other one.
All right, cool.
Okay.
I'm going 27-24 Bengals. All right, here we go. Kansas City at
Hey, we
what
were
do you
the
call it?
only ones in the 30s. That's crazy.
I think it's going to be high scoring.
What do you call it? Kansas City at Jags.
I think it's 31-14 KC.
Okay. Javito.
29-22.
There it is. I knew it was coming.
Hey, what do you got?
Emmett Smith is all in the dome tonight. I already told you 31-17.
Yeah, he said that earlier.
Okay. AK.
I'm going to go a little smaller here. I'm going to go 28 to I think Jacksonville's going to have some field goals. So I'll say 28-20.
28-20. Okay. I got 32-28. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I got what do you call it? Kansas City pulling it out. 32-28. All right, let's go. Philadelphia Giants. AK, we're gonna start with you. AK, go ahead.
Yeah, I got 146-0. Say it.
I got
1,900. No, all right. So I'll go. He's killing me right now. I'll go. All right. I think this is actually going to have some points on the board too. So I'm going to say that Philly puts up 30 points. I'm going to say the Giants get a late score and get somewhere to around 20 points. Let's say 30-20 Philadelphia. Go Birds.
Oh shit! All right, Petey.
31-30 Giants.
Oh shit! Okay, Avi.
See, he can't do his stupid 29-22 shit because now he's gonna
Nah, man. Let me be real right now. I think the Eagles win, but I think they win by like about a field goal. So I'm gonna say 27-24.
All right.
Jake.
I don't know. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. First time the Eagles played them, they won by 26. Second time, they only won by 6. And the Giants sat a ton of people. Man.
So you say upset central?
There's no suspense. He's obviously going to
lie. Cowboys win. Giants
Are you going upset special?
146-0. Just say it. 146-0.
No,
Just say it.
I'm going to say 27-24 Giants.
Of course you are.
At least it's
After this show, there's no chance you could have called the Eagles. You couldn't call the Eagles after this show. It would have been right.
All right. I'm going to go 35-28. I think the Eagles just are a little too much for the Giants right now. I like the way the Giants are going, but 35-28, I think Eagles pull that one out. And the other NFC game is
We already talked about
it.
All right, everybody's good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We got a few minutes to talk about NBA, man. What are your thoughts on the league? Who do you think is shining? Who do you think is playing disappointing ball? I think Miami's playing disappointing ball. They're pissing me off. But I'm not a huge fan of theirs anyway. But what are your highlights, man? Who do you see? Luka Doncic.
John Morant. How about that? That's a highlight reel right there.
John Morant, I highlight every single night, bro. That guy is special.
Yo, I tweeted. I was like, I am so convinced that he either has hollow bones or he has a sack of like helium around his lungs. So when he breathes in, it like expands and he gets
That dunk the
helium.
other day was disgusting.
Did you see? He elevates like another like. He just keeps rising.
And he stays there. He's like,
Wham.
Stay
Yeah, he's
here
ridiculous, dude.
I'm gonna stay
Luka
in the
Doncic,
scraps.
man. Luka MVP.
So just so you know, so I'm here in
No.
Dallas, dude. They're like, this is a Luka team. That's it. He has nothing behind him. No
He
one
doesn't,
next
though.
to him.
He doesn't. It's a
Doesn't.
travesty that they have not given him. I know they tried to with what's his name with the tall guy from the Knicks. What's his name?
Porzingis.
I know they tried to. That would have been a decent experiment had Porzingis not been so
They should
shitty.
have kept Brunson. They should have kept Brunson.
No, I don't think Brunson was the answer for you guys. I think because Brunson's the facilitator, defender. I love Brunson. Brunson's my guy, man. But I don't think on your team that's what you guys needed. You guys need a legit second scorer.
I'm not a Mavs fan. I'm just saying what the guys down here.
Oh, you're from Dallas.
I'm a Magic fan. Unfortunately.
I think they need a legit second scorer, like guy that when Luka hits the bench is gonna keep the freaking the peace on that court, bro.
Yeah, well, Dinwiddie should be able to do that, but he starts. I think they're trying to. This is, I think, a case of trying to recreate something that worked once, which is Dirk Nowitzki is the only star on the Dallas Mavericks, and then putting up second-tier older guys around him with a strong defense, some strong wing defense, and an anchor in the middle. And
yeah, but you had like a Jason Terry that could keep that ball. He could shoot that ball, man.
He wasn't even an all-star then, though. The point of what we're saying, like Luka has some decent players, but the point I'm sure Jay was trying to bring up here is that they don't have any number 2 stars, and now you need that to win in this league.
A lot of things they complain about down here is nobody can dribble on the team except for Luka. Nobody can dribble a damn basketball. Like it's like a disease down here for guys to dribble the ball. Like, they cannot do it, and they are terrible at shooting. So you can't dribble the ball and you can't shoot.
Yeah.
What you got?
I mean,
besides nothing.
I mean, yeah. Overall, like my thoughts on this season is, we know Boston, Milwaukee, and Philly are the top 3. Whatever order it is, they figure they're going to be, generally fighting it out, even though it's a 4.5 game difference between the two, which is nothing crazy. Brooklyn's got its act together, because
as long as Durant is healthy. If they proven that once Durant's not healthy, bro, they fucking turn.
They just literally played basketball, with 2 talented players and some decent role players, and look at what they were doing. Obviously, before KD got injured, and so the Heat, Mike, you're right, they are disappointing, but they are kind of where I thought they were going to be, like 5-6 seed area in the middle. So I mean, I'm not surprised. And then like the bottom half, the Knicks, Atlanta. Yeah, the Knicks are playing better. They didn't start off hot, I believe, right? To begin the year. So I mean, it looks like they got some kind of continuity going, but like we'll see what happens at the end of the year. I think my surprise still, because we talked about it early when we had an early season talk, right? That Denver was in first place, and look, they're still in first place. Jokic is just carrying them, right?
Let me ask you guys a question: who are you taking, John Morant or the Joker?
For what?
Just
building a team. I mean, what do we?
Who do you think is a better player?
Right now, I'll take Jokic. I'll take Jokic right now.
Yeah. I think you could do more with Jokic as your centerpiece because of the type of game that he plays. I think John Morant, oh man, singular talent. Don't get me wrong, singular talent. You're not going to get any better, but I feel like he needs pieces. He doesn't check as many boxes as Joker. Joker's a facilitator, shooter, scorer, rebounder. You know what I'm saying? Where John Morant's a scorer, he can lead your offense, but I just feel like Joker has more tools in his toolbox if you want to start a team.
I'm taking Embiid over Joker.
Yeah, of course you are.
Dude,
what? Doesn't matter with you. Are you serious?
Defense matters, bro. You have a guy who's a top 3 center in the league in defense to somebody who's easily in the bottom 15. That matters. This guy led the league in scoring last year. Joker is a better offensive player. He's far and away a better passer.
Infinitely a better offensive player. Like it is so.
Ain't nobody infinitely a better offensive player than the guy who drops over 30 points a game and leads the league in scoring.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody's infinitely better than him. So, yes, he's a better offensive player, but he's not infinitely. But guess what? Embiid is infinitely a better defensive player, and there's no argument about that. So,
I don't know what Jokic.
You talk about
I think that's what gets undervalued.
Jokic has every tool, and he's sick at every tool. But he's not a plus defender. It's the same thing with Curry. He's not a plus defender.
Neither is Luka.
As
Exactly.
good as he is,
Yeah.
neither is Luka a plus
Neither is
defender.
Luka.
I
The
think we
real
get into
question
those
is Luka
territories
over
where
Ja, because
we
Ja is a
overvalue
plus
offense
defender.
and undervalue defense.
Yeah,
I
come
think
on,
that's
man.
very
You can't just
easily
act like
readily
defense
happen.
isn't a part of a conversation when you're talking about who's a better player.
Well, today's NBA don't care about defense.
It does
but I get
matter,
it.
though.
Shout
It
out
does matter.
to the Sacramento Kings, the Aaron Fox. They're third in the
Woo,
West
he
right
beat the
now.
Lakers.
You know what I'm saying? The Aaron Fox is a baller, and that's all.
That's
I
a
gotta say.
surprise. I mean, that they're playing that well with not really.
Make themselves relevant. They haven't been relevant in how long?
I mean, Sabonis is good, but he's not he's good. But
He's giving them like 13. He's giving them like 13 boards and
Yeah,
19
he's
points.
doing
All I'm
those
saying
things.
is I don't see Embiid taking out 6'8" strong forwards doing a step back three right in their face.
Then you don't watch the Sixers play because he does that
Yeah,
regular.
yo, listen.
Yeah, he does.
Hey,
He led the league in
Embiid is
mid-range
as
points
still the
2
big
years
man.
ago.
Mid-range.
And
He's
he-
still the
long
big
range.
man as there is.
We're talking about mid-range.
I was about to say,
Still
and
the
he
big man as
shoots
they've been.
3.5 3-pointers a game,
You-
more than Jokic.
If you would
That's
ask
actually
me
a knock on.
now, I think he is the DP of the year, defensive player of the year right now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about offensive.
That's huge.
He's the most skilled player. He's the most
He
skilled
also leads, like when you lead the league in scoring, and he might be right behind Luka right now, but he won last year. I guarantee if he doesn't get hurt, he will again this year. And you're a defensive player of the year candidate, like he's been most of his career.
Yeah,
That's
he
crazy.
has.
Ain't nobody super better than you.
Do we think with the Warriors being at 500 right now, where do we think you think they're getting back on track?
They ain't
I
gonna
mean,
do
we
that.
expect-
No. I
We expect
think
Curry to get back on track, but those young guys have not. panned
Yeah,
out.
I think the train has left the station for that team, man. I think they're going to be good. They make a playoff run, and the thing about them is if they get in the playoffs, they can get hot. But
That's my thing. I think
I believe that the train has left the station for them, man. I don't even think at the end of the season, health wise, they're going to be what they are even right now. I just see an older team with Clay. I
You
see
gotta understand,
Draymond.
They were playing without Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. All right. Now Andrew Wiggins and Steph Curry are playing again. So if they get that team going, they can start making noise. You know what I'm saying? Because Andrew Wiggins is like what Draymond Green used to be for them, but better as far as when it comes to athletic ability and even on offense. Andrew Wiggins is their best defender right now. All right. It's not Draymond Green anymore. It's Andrew Wiggins. So when he plays, the Warriors are just that much better. When he doesn't play, they're not that good on defense. And that's really just the difference, in my opinion, right now. But he's playing, and they're playing Boston right now, and it's a close game. So, that could be a barometer right now as to what Wiggins means to the Golden State Warriors.
Speaking of the train leaving the station, has that happened for the Clippers?
No.
Yes.
Because the West is weak. The West is weak. They can still make noise.
Nah.
But they have to play.
Nah.
These two stars have to play.
They're started to, right? The whole point is to keep them for the playoffs.
Yeah, but you can't just say, I'll take this game off, I'm going to take this game off, and then I'll play this game, and then I'll play this game, but then I'll take this game off.
But Kawhi did that in Toronto and won a championship.
Not true.
He only played like 60-some games that year in the regular season.
That's more than he plays now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's way more than he plays right now.
It's the way it feels like. That's way more than he plays.
Well, he was
and
hurt.
Paul George is just hurt. And Paul George is consistently hurt, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
no, I don't think the Clippers are going to win a championship, but I'm saying that there's 4 or 5 teams in the West. Any one of them could come out, and they're one of them.
But they're the 8th seed right now. So, I mean, what do you really...
Because their guys were injured for a lot of the year. They hung around.
But that's what I'm saying. That's
every
the
team. Like if the Nuggets go in and Jokic or Murray gets hurt again, then they ain't winning no championship either. If whatever the top teams, look at Golden State. You miss Curry, you miss Thompson. These guys, you're not going to. So with them,
yeah, but what I'm saying is that
we're
with the Clippers,
assuming those guys are healthy when we're asking if they can make a run, right?
No, I'm saying it because I just don't think they can be healthy. You're asking if they're healthy. Yeah, I agree with you. If they were healthy, they're probably one of the more dangerous teams in the NBA. But the story has been, not just this year, but consistently, they're not there. That's what I'm saying. So should we just stop expecting them to be there?
I'm with you.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'll say that the real fun in this season, I think, is 100% in the Eastern Conference. Because besides that, Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, you still have, and I think Brooklyn is right up there with them.
Yeah, Cleveland.
You still have Cleveland, right? Like and New York is they're not going to make any noise, but they're a good team. Atlanta's a good team. There's some teams that are fun to watch that are good teams, and the top is heavy. I think you got 5 teams at least,
It's not
4
even
that can
just the top.
score.
The difference between the Bucks have 29 wins, the Knicks at 7 have 25.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's close. It's close.
But they haven't
pretty
had their
much.
full team. Like, that's going to shake out a little bit.
Well, that's
right?
that's another question I'm having, at least right now. I haven't really looked into it, but Middleton still not really back.
He came
right?
back for a minute too, and then
That's what I'm saying, and that's the key for them, for me, as far as I'm concerned. If they're going to win,
How about those Cavs? How about that? How about did
that
anyone
was-
see this happening?
Yes.
We talked about it.
We actually in our preview of the season, we mentioned that the Cavs were going to make some noise.
We got some sore Knicks fans that are pissed that Donovan Mitchell's not in their team.
Yeah, because we wanted Donovan Mitchell.
they're a top 5 lineup in the NBA, starting lineup in the NBA without.
I wanted
question.
Donovan Mitchell so bad.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Imagine him with Brunson.
Garland's a monster. You'd have what they have over there with Garland.
Well, no, if they would have went for Mitchell, they would have not gotten Bronson. So
Yeah, I don't know. We would have.
You could have got both. Pablo. You could have got both in that trade.
No,
if they wanted to pay, if they want to pay the money,
I knew we were not going to.
James Dolan would not do that. So Dolan wouldn't do that.
That's strange that he wouldn't do that. I thought it was because he didn't want to give up Grimes and 1 or 2 more assets.
I think he should have.
that
Now
too.
looking back, holy shit.
That too, but yeah, I didn't because I think the whole talk was if they get him, they wouldn't be able to.
Hey, you want to feel old? They did this thing right where they
feel
grabbed
old
a bunch of like 9 and 10 year olds, 8, 9, and 10 year olds on a basketball court. Right, they grabbed about 20 of them, and they go, when I say Melo, who do you think of? Yo, out of the 20 kids, 18 of them said Melo Ball, not Carmelo Anthony. How crazy is that shit? How old do you feel now?
Yeah, well, they look at Selena Gomez instead of the original Selena too, bro. It's just how the game goes.
Yeah, right.
That's all it is, really.
They look at Selena Gomez.
I mean, think about it this way: where was Carmelo in his career when these kids were starting?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why, yeah.
Started watching now. I mean, how long did they watch basketball for? 2 years?
He's an all-star. Remember, he's an all-time great. He's considered like one of the all-time, and yet, damn, that's crazy though. Like anybody, because think about it like this: anybody, just man, our age, you say Melo, we're saying Carmelo Anthony right off the rip. We don't Melo Ball. Nah, you got to earn it. You always rather say, but so it's like, holy shit, dude. There's a whole new generation of basketball fans out there that have no idea who Michael Jordan is, at least not to the level that we see him. There's a whole nother generation out there.
They don't even know who LeBron is.
Exactly. That's what I'm about to head. That barely know who fucking LeBron is.
You guys sound like grumpy old men right now, yeah.
No, that's what it is. It's crazy, though, that it's happening like that.
They know LeBron and Mike. They still know Mike. They wear his shoes, bro.
Yeah, right? You're fucking sneak of heaven. Well, guys, anybody want some closing thoughts on anything, especially for the weekend, different games or whatever?
It's going to be a glorious day and night in San Francisco and in Philadelphia. And next week's going to be a hell of a conference championship. Let's go. Go Birds.
He got cocky on us pretty quick, right? You remember how humble Akil was just a couple of weeks ago?
Remember he was last year? Jalen Hurts.
A couple of weeks ago. I don't know. We got to see.
All year, I've been on the Eagles being the best team in the league.
You got real cocky real quick, though. You were a little humble about it. Just not too long ago.
How cocky is what?
How cocky were you Christmas Eve?
Oh, yeah. Great job. 4 turnovers, backup quarterback. That's fantastic. That's really good.
When did you guys beat us? With our backup quarterback?
I didn't bring it up.
Sounds like the same thing.
I didn't bring it up. I brought up the season.
I was just asking.
I brought up the season.
I think we got something good here.
How cocky was he?
I know the Giant fans don't like
very cocky. If we lose with 4 turnovers and our backup quarterback by 6 in Dallas, that makes me feel great.
I think realistically, at the end of the day, they're both going to be pissed off that they lose to San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, we'll see about that. That's the Giants. Don't make us gang up on you, Pablo.
All right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us in our living room, joining us in our barbershop as we walk off the beaten path away from, what the corporate media is talking about every day. And we're able to say what's on our mind, what's in our heart, because, sometimes we talk feelings, sometimes we talk numbers, but you're going to get what we're thinking. Thank you for joining us, man. Like, share, let your friends know that we're here. Join our group on Facebook. It's the Sports is My Love Language Facebook group. It's always a great interaction, great conversation, back and forth about different teams, different topics, pick, sit, bench, all kinds of stuff is going on over there. Every week we put our scores, predictions. Join us there. Big games coming up this week. Everybody enjoy. Again, this has been the Sports is My Love Language podcast. I'm your boy Dropping Dimes. I got my boy Petey Pablo, my boy Colombiano Javito, my man AK, the Eagles Fly, my man Jay Waltner with the Cowboys coming in hot. And they say the two most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you discover why. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you. This is the Sports is My Love Language podcast. Thank you for joining us in our why. Y'all have a great night. Take it easy, people.